spokesperson.
My mother told me about Pro Carpet and Doug cleaning when the twins were so sick with allergies and pollen. And boy, did it help. And lowered our utility bill. And we almost have no dust in our house.
You know, 50% of all illness is caused by indoor air. 9 out of 10 systems fail because of dirt and dust. Doesn't your family deserve clean air?
For a cleaner, healthier home, call 445-4818. That's 445-4818.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. If you're over 55 and with one of the big three carriers, like Verizon, you may notice they don't talk much about their 55-plus discounts. That's so customers like you keep paying their regular higher rates to boost their bottom line. You deserve better service. With 100% U.S.-based experts, better value, with plans starting at $20, and a company that's built for people 50-plus, like me. Not convinced? Give your current carrier a call. Ask about the 55-plus plan you've earned. See how long it takes to get a real person on the line, and if they try to talk you out of it. But if you want something better, call Consumer Cellular. We've got the same great coverage, and our U.S.-based experts can get you switched in about 20 minutes. Switch now to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com for your second month free.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
KSYL.
Louisiana Radio Network Sports, I'm John Burns. LSU men's basketball was once again on the wrong end of a blowout loss at home as they were never in the game against 21st-ranked Arkansas last night. The Razorbacks trounced the Tigers 91-62. Darius Acuff had another huge game against LSU, scoring 28 points. LSU is now 2-9 in SEC play. Free agency begins next month in the NFL, and the Saints have 4 players set to become free agents. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Taysom Hill, and 27-year-old slot corner Alontae Taylor. Ross Jackson is the host of the Saints Locked On podcast and says there's a chance New Orleans moves on from Taylor.
Alontae Taylor ends up going elsewhere because he gets an opportunity to be an outside corner and paid as such, then maybe some offseason investment in corner could make sense. The interesting part will be, how do they do that? Do they go and grab somebody that's a pure slot corner that can play that role, or do they go and grab somebody that can play on the outside and then move somebody else into the inside?
LRN. The LSU baseball team begins defense of its national title on Friday when the Tigers host Milwaukee. LSU is set to play 5 games in 6 days to start the season. Coach Jay Johnson told Tiger Rag Radio he has a lot of options when it comes to starting pitchers.
We did have a good spring leading up where we were able to elevate a bunch of pitch counts. Really that same group, you know, when you talk about Evans and Schmidt and Moore and Cooper Williams and Jaden Newt, Marcos Paz, Reagan Ricken, Zach Cowan, obviously, Gavin Guidry. All those guys got their pitch counts up above 6.
La Tech begins its season by hosting Houston Christian for a 4-game series starting on Friday. Coach Lane Burrows on his scheduled starting pitchers.
It'll be Declan Dahl on Friday, Hudson Rowan on game 2, Luke Cooley will go game 3, and Brooks Roberson will go game 4.
Tech went 32-25 last year. LRN.
KSYL.
The electronic devices we use each day capture far more information than any of us realize. That Nest doorbell cam at the front door of Nancy Guthrie, the one the local sheriff's department thought was useless because there were no subscriptions to record and store images, recorded everything anyway. I'm Kim Commando with Improved Life. I created GLP-1 support to manage cravings, support metabolism, and keep blood sugar on track. Find out more at improvedlife.com/Kim. The FBI dug into what's called residual data in back-end systems. Plain English, even without a paid subscription, that camera was still sending data to the cloud. Thumbnails, motion events, connection logs, video, all sitting on servers. The suspect tampered with the camera and thought he was in the clear. He wasn't. You can smash a camera, you can't delete what it already uploaded. Your devices capture more than you think, even on free tiers and without a subscription. And in this case, it might be what brings Nancy Guthrie home. Join 1 million folks who get my free newsletter. Sign up now at getkim.com. It's hard to believe, but summer is literally right around the corner. And if you're thinking about what you're going to look like in that swimsuit, you're not alone. Here's the thing. You do not need to starve yourself. And you don't need some crazy workout routine that you're going to quit in, say, 2 weeks. You need actual, real support that works with your body. That's why I need to tell you about GLP-1 support from ImproveLife.com. It helps with appetite control. So this way you're not fighting cravings all day. And it supports your metabolism. So this way your body can do what it's supposed to do. And the best part, it's in stock right now. There's no wait list, no back orders, just results. Hey, summer bodies are not made in June. They're made right now. Get going. Head to ImproveLife.com/Kim and get up to 30% off. That's ImproveLife.com/Kim, because feeling good in your own skin never goes out of season. ImproveLife.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome on in to Talkback here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. Glad you all could be with us here today and looking forward to a great show. 318-442-8255 is our phone number. It's the first day of election qualifying for the spring primary races, Stephen, and we should get a little bit more of a clearer picture on what's happening with the U.S. Senate race.
Yeah, that includes the municipal elections in Pineville. So a couple council seats, mayor, and we'll get the full list here for you in a second. I'm trying to pull it up. Do you have it?
On Go Vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll get it, but yeah, that's the big one around here. And then, of course, the fall elections are the Alexandria elections. So that's a little bit later. So an exciting time if you're in local politics.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will be interesting to see if anyone else gets into that Senate race besides the 3 we pretty much know for sure are running. That is the incumbent Bill Cassidy, 5th District Congresswoman Julia Letlow, and also State Treasurer John Fleming. I saw where yesterday they announced that Julie Emerson, who had been considering running for that race, decided not to after Letlow got into it. Now she has been tabbed to be the new chief of staff for Governor Landry.
Interesting.
Yeah. She's a native of Homer and was raised in Carencro. First elected to the State House in 2015. Served 3 terms, made history as the youngest Republican woman ever elected to the legislature. So I know that she does have a pretty good reputation and a lot of respect among people who work down in the legislature. So that was a kind of an interesting move, I thought.
Yeah, they generally, when you see, I guess, someone new jump in like that, there's some discussions and conversations about how it would happen, and I'm sure that was one of them.
Yeah. All right, I know you're trying to figure out the field for the election coming up.
Well, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Have you found it already?
No, I'm working on it.
I know, you go to the Secretary of State website and you're like, okay. I'm trying to find it too. There are like so many options. It's easier once you kind of get everybody involved. Here we go. All right. So if we go to races in the parish for the March 14th race, well, that's a different one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not seeing.
We're professionals, I swear. You know what? We'll get that after the break.
Comedy of errors right here. I should have brought it up. I feel bad.
But we do have city council. And I follow the local stuff because I enjoy it. So Pineville's kind of having a shift there. We'll see who's running for those council seats, including one of our hosts here, Nathan Martin's not running again, so someone will be new in that seat. We'll see if someone runs against Mayor Joe Bishop. I know he's qualifying today to run for the first time for that position after being put in that position, appointed. So we'll be seeing what happens there.
So the primary election, the party primary election, that'll be for Senate, U.S. Representative, Supreme Court Justice, Bessie, Public Service Commission, and then municipal primary elections will be May 16th. That's the date for that one. There are actually several special elections coming up before that. That's what kind of threw us off here. And then I guess what would be essentially the runoff would be June 27th, should there be one. So those are your dates.
Yeah.
And we'll get those lists of candidates. They'll start qualifying today, and then go from there.
And we'll have a on my page. I'll post everyone who qualified at the end of the day. And if you're listening and you would like to do an interview and you're running for a position, please reach out. I will try to reach out to you, but it's always easier if you reach out to me.
That's true. All right. I think we have a call coming in on the BOM Bank Talk line. Let's go to that. Good morning. You're on Talkback. Or not. Okay. But you guys know the number. 318-442-8255.
They were patiently waiting to hear our information.
There's something that you guys were talking about yesterday that I was going to bring up and I forgot. Oh, shoot.
Wasn't about halftime shows, was it?
Oh, you want to talk about that again?
No.
So did Nathan do the interpretation for you? He wasn't able to interpret what he was saying in Spanish?
Oh, no.
Oh, good. I wouldn't want Nathan to have to listen to that.
Hey, he liked it.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. I think.
Did he?
I don't know. I don't remember if he did. Oh my gosh, music is smut. We know it. Move on.
I hear that the FCC might actually look into it.
For the love of God.
Because of all the smut that was involved.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You know that song that they sang at the TPUSA? Chilling on a dirt road?
Yeah.
Swerving like I'm George Jones? I got my beer in the console? That's illegal.
That's true.
Promotes drinking and driving.
Okay.
And that kills a lot more people than dancing Latinas.
Okay. Now you're just trolling.
Well, it's true.
You always do that.
I just don't. I mean,
all right.
They can investigate it. That's fine.
So Nathan is better with the preview of the races coming up here. So let's see. Scrolling
I just
down.
couldn't find that link.
Yeah. So here's what we have locally. We'll have the mayor for the city of Pineville.
Alderman Criolla.
Council member District 1 for Pineville. Council member District 2 for Pineville. Council member District 3 for Pineville. Council member District 4 for Pineville. And
so for the seats.
Yeah.
Criolla. Yep. So mostly Pineville. Alexandria is the fall election. So qualifying is in the summer.
Okay.
And that'll be interesting too.
Is that a mayoral race already?
Yep.
Wow.
Sure is. At large Villard seat. Jim Villard. Some other council members, I'm sure. So,
wow.
Yeah. So Villard is the at-large up for this year. Green, I guess, would be in 2 years, huh?
Probably.
Jules Green. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be some excitement around that. But I think the big one is to see if Mayor Bishop brings any challengers. I honestly haven't heard a single name. And I'm sure maybe it's being rumored out there, but I have heard nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
I haven't heard anything either.
But we will see. I'll have all the reports on Stephen Maxwell TV page. You can check it out there. I'll share them to KSYL too if you're more into the KSYL page, so you can keep up with it there. And have all the qualifying for you.
Yeah. Well, it'll be kind of unique because there will be a ton of advertising money spent on this Senate race. A ton.
You're already seeing it now.
Yeah, Cassidy's got quite a bit of money. I'm sure Letlow will get a lot of money coming from people more from the Trump corner of things. Treasurer Fleming, I'm sure he has raised a fair share of money as well. And at this point now he becomes a little bit more of an underdog because he doesn't have that endorsement from the president, despite the fact he worked in his administration last time. People are kind of scratching their heads, but I think a lot of this has to do with where Governor Landry's influence is coming in with Letlow and his connection to President Trump. So there's all that. And, I mean, politics is such a game.
Well, if he just went off Rapides Parish, you'd think Fleming is the front runner. I mean, you see all the signs everywhere.
Oh, absolutely.
And, he's got a big fan base out here, and he's speaking to a group of people that are, I don't want to say one-issue voters, but they have a really important issue, and that's CCS.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much that plays into the president's endorsement. Are we overplaying it? Did he pick Letlow because Fleming came out against carbon cap? I mean, who knows? I don't even know if that's top of his mind.
Right.
But I'm sure it's top of Governor Landry's mind.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not the main issue for that. Who knows? But like you said, Fleming was in his administration the first time.
Yeah.
But here, even he's got a decent following. So you never rule anything out, and we know just because the president endorses somebody doesn't mean they're going to win.
True.
Letlow is not Donald Trump,
right.
And so it doesn't have that same power.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing around the country in a lot of cases is if Trump isn't on the ballot, people aren't going out to vote from the right of center side of things. I'm not saying Republican because a lot of people vote more right of center in support of him that may not be Republican, some Democrats, independents, but a lot of that vote just does not get out because you're seeing districts where Trump won in 2024 by 7, 10, whatever points, where Democrats are winning a handful of those special elections. If people are only voting for the president, that's just insane to me.
And this is my own interpretation, and I'm not, the sharpest tool in the shed, nor am I a political expert. But when you have a candidate like him, it's based more on him and his personality than an ideology.
Yeah.
So maybe that doesn't trickle down as much. Like, the MAGA ideology is very hard to pin down. Because what is it really based off of?
Yeah.
What Donald Trump thinks is best in that moment. I'm not being sarcastic.
No,
I mean, that's just the way I think it.
Yeah.
So when you don't have him on the ballot, it's just a completely different ballgame. And you can just say all the red meat buzzwords, right? Like Risponi did back in the gubernatorial election. I mean, a Democrat still won in Louisiana.
Yep.
People just don't care. They came to see Trump, and that was it.
Maybe when he comes out for his rallies, instead of playing YMCA, they should play Living Colors, Cult of Personality.
There you go.
Except that's CM Punk's walkout song, so you can't steal that.
You can do Kid Rock or something.
Yeah. There he goes, trolling again.
I'm not trolling. Or was that song I'm not making fun of it. I'm not. That song with the guy who's like, I just want to drink my beer and cut my grass. You know what I'm talking about? Did you see that on the halftime show?
The one that was on Turning Point?
It was just kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to drink my beer, cut my grass. I'm not, I'm country and there's no place for me in my country kind of thing. It was like a good, catchy little thing, but it's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like if you know how, because I like country music. I'm not a big fan of new country music.
Yeah.
I like the old stuff. But it's just like that almost pandering new country music. Like the only thing we care about is beer, fishing, and guns, which is kind of almost on point. But, we're much more nuanced than that down here.
And?
You got a point. and football and basketball.
That's right.
Hey, congrats to all the Oak Hill seniors. Went to Oak Hill last night for their senior night. And you know what? One of the weirdest things, because my cousin-in-law had her senior night thing.
Oh.
So I was there for the halftime of the basketball game. They were playing Monterey. And I was standing there because Oak Hill was in my district when I was in school. And I had like an existential crisis. I'm like, oh my God, I played basketball here 20 years ago.
Wow.
As a little dribbler. And then I felt like an old guy just talking to my little cousin-in-law and her family. I was like, you want to hear something interesting? I used to play basketball here 20 years ago. And I was like, oh God, I'm my grandpa. I'm having the same conversations.
You were a little dribbler, huh?
I was a little dribbler. I think that was the end of my basketball career. We always played pretty well against Oak Hill in basketball. And I was not very good. So I'd get 6 or 7 points there. But they were good in baseball. We had a hard time beating them.
Yeah.
But they're always formidable in baseball.
Tell you what, guys, if you've never seen Steven, he can sling it with a baseball.
I could play baseball.
You got a lot of pop on your throw.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved playing the field. I didn't like hitting as much. Shut up. I know what you're saying.
I know
I
you
can't
did.
say the word field.
No, I wasn't thinking that.
Oh, okay. You're just being deviant. You know what I mean.
Those were your previous days.
Okay. Yeah, you know me.
You're down with OPV. Yeah, you know me. All right, we're back after this.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. T-Mobile added fewer wireless subscribers than analysts expected in the most recent quarter. The company counted 962,000 new mobile phone customers. T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T locked in a fierce battle for subscribers, with all 3 dangling promotions and incentives, from free phones to new TVs and streaming packages. Speaking of that, Samsung will unveil its latest Galaxy smartphones on February 25th. The company says the debut of the Galaxy S26 will feature new artificial intelligence features and a privacy display that prevents people from snooping. Turning to trading, stocks have been searching for direction this jobs day on Wall Street. Futures have been flipping between gains and losses this morning. And Ford expects profit to jump this year, even after it was given a surprise $900 million tariff bill at the end of last year. The automaker expects demand for pickups and SUVs to push earnings higher. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Looking for fun, learning, and excitement at your fingertips? The Rapides Parish Library has you covered. With our easy digital online calendar, signing up for events has never been simpler. Whether it's story time for the kiddos, workshops, painting classes, book clubs, or special guest speakers, you can browse and register right from your phone or computer. Just click, search, sign up, and show up. Head over to our website at rpl.org and get connected today.
Good morning. Starting out our Wednesday with considerable clouds, but they'll decrease throughout the afternoon hours to, I would say, probably partly cloudy skies. Afternoon highs near 76 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 today. Few clouds from time to time overnight tonight, down around 50. And then for Thursday, a mixture of sunshine and clouds. It'll be warm afternoon, high temps near 75. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talkback.
All right, we are back on Talkback. Alan Steven with you at 318-442-8255 on the BOM Bank Talk line. So the Winter Olympics are going on. I have to admit, I have not really watched very much.
I'd rather watch this yellow paint dry.
Oh, come on.
In the studio. I'm serious.
Over curling?
Could not care less. Could not. And I'm glad people do.
Yeah.
And I know, I sound like a hater 24/7.
Man.
Dude, that was my least favorite thing working in television news, was readjusting our schedules for the Olympics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, especially the Summer Olympics, because the broadcast would stay on the air till like 11.
Yeah.
So those couple of weeks, you're not going on till 11. And you know your audience is probably a third of what it was normally, because people aren't staying up that late. So what's the point, right?
And when you get out of the broadcast industry, like I barely even hear about it now.
Yeah.
I haven't heard really anybody talk about it.
Right.
Granted, here in Louisiana, Winter Olympics aren't really is a top of mind thing for us, winter sports, since we've seen an ounce of snow in 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, right now, there's a documentary that's on Netflix, though, that I would highly, highly, highly recommend. And it chronicles the 1980 Olympic hockey team. It's called Miracle, the Boys of 80. And Netflix put it together. They did an unbelievable job. It's incredible. Now, there was a movie that came out in 2004 called Miracle, where Kurt Russell plays the head coach of that 1980 U.S. hockey team, Herb Brooks. Really good movie. Really good. But, of course, it's Hollywood, so not all of it's completely true. They got a lot of it right. But this documentary, it's incredible the way they did it. They bring the guy, there are a handful of them that aren't living anymore, but all the guys that, or most of the guys that are, and they actually bring them back to Lake Placid, to the hockey arena, which they still use, and they've reconditioned it. It's really nice. And they basically are showing them highlights of everything and getting their thoughts and reactions. And then they interview the people individually. But it is so well done. One of my classes at LCU, I only have 3 students in it this semester, and it kind of goes into the topics that we're covering. So we watched it 1 hour last week, 1 hour this week, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. But what strikes me about it, watching it, is it took me back to 1980, what life was like in the U.S. back then. Now, this was kind of a tough time in America because it was the tail end of Jimmy Carter's presidency, which, other than maybe Joe Biden, was probably the worst in our history. It was pretty bad, especially economically. And they even talk about that at the start of it, like when inflation was like 18%, or it was just insane. And then you had the height of the Cold War, which, I don't know if height is the right word, but the Cold War was pretty strong. The tensions between the two countries, for sure. And that played out into the Olympics competition as well, because if you remember later that year in 1980, the Summer Olympics, Carter decided that we weren't going to go. And so a lot of athletes missed out on that opportunity, which was really sad for them. But the lightning in the bottle moment that the 1980 hockey team was, because this is before you could use professionals in hockey, or in the Olympics, I should say, at least for America. We had to use all of our amateurs. And we knew that all the other countries around the world, especially the communist countries, they essentially were using their pro athletes, because those athletes didn't do anything else but train for their sport. So you had these men of the Soviet Union against these boys from America, and they played an exhibition a couple weeks before the Olympics started, and they got absolutely destroyed. And the Russians went into the Olympics, and they beat like Japan like 16-1.
No.
They beat Poland like 12-0. I mean, they just were destroying everyone. So when the U.S., they went from an opening round tie, I think, against Sweden, to sort of getting their momentum, that by the time they played in the semifinals against Russia, even though they were huge underdogs, their confidence had grown so much. And they knew that they were in incredible physical shape, that they could kind of outskate them, and that was kind of the approach that they took. But it's so well done. It's so well done. And one thing you notice, too, in the documentary is that the players on the team, Herb Brooks purposely picked a lot of blue-collar kids, that he seemed to kind of know this would mean, not to use the pun here, the world to them, to do something like this. Even though you had kids from Minnesota and Boston, which was a huge rivalry in the college hockey world, even though you had these different cultures of kids, yet they all had kind of one thing in common. They loved America, and they wanted to represent America. And when they showed interviews with the players' families and like where they came from and where they lived, I mean, a lot of people think the previous generations had it easy. You could see, even in the homes and the decor of the homes and the vehicles outside and the neighborhoods they came from some pretty tough streets even back then to get to the place that they were. I just can't recommend it enough. I know some people have canceled Netflix because of the stupid content that they have on there. But even for a month you just sign up again to watch that one documentary, trust me, it'll be worth it. It'll be the best. I think it's $8 a month. It'll be the best $8 you've ever spent.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Really
I want to take back what I said about winter sports. Hockey is awesome.
Yes.
I would watch hockey.
Yeah.
I love hockey.
Which now, the way they do it is the various NHL players, they go back home and play for their home country. The NHL takes like a 2-week pause, and they let their players do that. So, and make no mistake, if you go to all the Olympic athletes who have pride in their country, those pro hockey players, as much as anybody, they've got pride in their country. I saw one of the Kachuk brothers who are playing for the U.S., he was talking about that yesterday, how much it means to them to put on the Team USA uniform, which is really cool. Some of the younger athletes might take a page from him and consider that too. So
I think a lot of them would be proud.
Oh, yeah, there are. Unfortunately, you just have a few voices out there that just need to be quiet. Shut up and dribble.
I don't even know I don't know if there's any controversy. But yeah, I would love to watch it.
Yeah, there's been several athletes that have said, I'm conflicted about wearing the flag.
Oh, okay. Well.
And Mike Eruzione, who was the captain of the 80 hockey team, on Twitter, he said, if you're conflicted about it, I got a suggestion. Take it off and let someone else wear it who does appreciate it.
Yeah, probably so.
It's just not the place to vent your political frustrations. I mean, the country's paying for you to be there, essentially. They've paid for you to train. They've paid for you to have this opportunity. When you throw that back in people's faces, they're not going to like that.
No.
You know, so. All right, well, you need to take a break. We'll come right back.
KSYL.
For 1 year only, the event you've celebrated year after year is getting a new name and a new date. Because Fat Tuesday falls on Valentine's weekend, Taste of Mardi Gras becomes Taste of Central Louisiana. Happening Saturday, March 7th at the Randolph Riverfront Center. Enjoy the same great food, drinks, live music, and Mardi Gras spirit you've always loved, just on a new night and with a new name. For a full list of events, visit AlexandriaPinevilleLA.com and plan your trip today at ExploreLouisiana.com.
I start every workday morning off the same way. I stop in and pick up breakfast at Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express. It's convenient, quick, and oh so good. Croissants, biscuits, breakfast subs, and their hot coffee is the perfect pick-me-up. They always ask me why I'm in such a good mood when I get to work. Improve your mood. Stop by Wilmore's any weekday morning from 6 till 9 and get your day started right. That's Wilmore's Mobile and Sub Express right there on the corner of North MacArthur Drive and Bayou Rapides Road.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talkback.
All right, we're back on Talkback. And, speaking of those 1980 hockey team members, several of them are on Twitter, X. And I enjoy following. Jim Craig is, Mike Eruzione, Rob McClanahan, Jack O'Callahan, which in the Miracle movie, there's like a scene where O'Callahan and McClanahan get like in a fight, but, McClanahan says that was just a movie thing. They never actually got in a fight. O'Callahan says, yeah, I would have beat his butt.
After we get over this, speaking of X, I want to talk about some Elon Musk statements.
Okay.
Yeah.
McClanahan, in the documentary, they talk about how I think it was the very first game against Sweden. He took a really brutal check, and it bruised his whole left side. He could barely move. So after the first period, he's on the trainer's table, and he's thinking, I'm done for the Olympics. and Herb Brooks was his coach at Minnesota, and he came in and just pushed the right buttons to make him mad, and he got back out there and skated and ended up playing the whole rest of the Olympics.
They are the coolest athletes I've ever been around.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool.
A friend of mine, he does sports in St. Louis, and he said the thing with hockey players is they could play like a three-period, 2-overtime game, have a broken nose, a sprained ankle, and if you ask them, hey, can I get you for a couple minutes to do a live shot? They'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll be there. Whereas, dealing with NFL players, that was back when St. Louis had the Rams, or even Major League Baseball players, how every ask like that was always like, no, I don't think I can do it. It's just hockey players are the greatest guys.
Oh, yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really, I know there has to be a market for it, but I wish we could have that small league hockey.
I know.
Again. The Warthogs or whatever.
I covered a lot of high school hockey the last 10 years I was in Wisconsin, and I love those kids. Those kids were so amazing. It's a great sport. It really is. But it's a great sport to watch in person.
Yes.
More than anything. But
100% better.
What was so cool about that 1980 team is that it captured the nation at a time where the nation needed something to pick it up. So, like, they have clips in there of guys like Tom Brokaw talking about, you know, this was in 1980, saying, like, they were getting choked up watching it. And that movie, it'll choke you up. Or the documentary is so good. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, for sure.
Great stuff. Great stuff. America. But I do think that's why a lot of us Gen Xers are so patriotic. The combination of having what we had in 1976 in our education and then follow that up with that 1980 group, my goodness. You know, that to me is the, without question, number one sports moment in the history of America. There's nothing even close to that, because it was just such an improbability and what it meant at the time.
I'm trying to think. I guess so.
And what's
I
cool
mean, I wasn't
about
alive, so.
They came across, the producers of the documentary, they somehow found all of this film that had been shot during the Olympics that no one knew existed. And it's all like, and you'll understand this term from a TV perspective, it's all like ground level footage. So while they're showing clips of the broadcast, then they cut away to like the close-up shots of like the face-off or the goals. And I'm like, where did they get this video? Is this AI? No, it was actual footage, and it was absolutely incredible what they had.
I just don't think we'll ever get moments like this again in our current state of affairs, just because we're so fractured, not politically, but just fractured when it comes to media and what people are interested in.
Yeah, no doubt. Because the Olympics back then, I mean, everyone would watch it because you had 3 channels that you were watching.
Or like big movies now, too.
Oh, right.
You just don't have it.
Right.
I do miss those days.
Yeah, like the
we're all sheep and got into one thing. It was fun.
Like when Star Wars came out.
Yeah, Harry Potter, Star Wars, you know. You just don't have that anymore. I don't even know what's in the movies anymore. And I love the movies.
I know. All right, well, let's take a call here this morning. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. I was calling about the Olympics and all those things you were talking about, brought back a lot of good memories. I'm a little older. I'm at the tail end of the boomers. I was born in 63, so I grew up in the 60s and the 70s. And sports was a very big part of our life, but I think it tracks the decay of the family. You know, when you were little, you always thought your dad could beat up the other guy's dad, and you stood up for your family. And I remember my sister used to give me all kinds of grief, but if somebody hit her, that's it, man. Game on. And but the schools, my dad was a junior high teacher and coach, and he ran the summer program for the city. And the schools would have track meets throughout the summer. Every Saturday, you come in, you pay $1, and you get to run in the 3 events. And they would give out ribbons and trophies, trophies for the first place, ribbons second place. So you had mini Olympics going on all summer long. Everything started at 8 years old, and you could trust to drop off your 8-year-old there at the high school, and that they'd be there when you got back. And they, you know, back then, if you didn't represent your school in some kind of sport or endeavor, it was almost like you were effeminate. You know, you were embarrassed not to be able to. And when one school played another school, man, everybody turned out because, you know, you had your rivalries. I grew up in Lafayette, so it was Lafayette and Acadiana, but we also had big rivalries with New Iberia and Youngsville and Northside. You wanted to represent your school, and there was a patriotism. Now, we had a lot of channels. It wasn't just TV that killed this because, you know, growing up in Lafayette, we had 39 channels. We had all the cable you'd want to watch, but we still went outside. And I remember our push to compete seemed stronger. The local golf course would allow kids during the summer to play from as early as they wanted to get there in the morning until noon for 50 cents. You know, now at noon you had to get out of there because the older guys were coming in, the moneymakers, and they wanted you out. But they fostered kids competing in sports. Now ABC Wide World of Sports was the big thing, you know, especially on Sundays.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport.
Yeah. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. I don't know who that guy. I don't know who that guy was that wiped out on that ski. Yes, yes. We saw him shame every. Yeah, but he's famous now. But anyways, so we knew these events, and I remember tracking Bruce Jenner. You know, in '72 when he was at the middle of the pack, he wasn't anything great. And then he in 76 bicentennial year, he wins it all, greatest athlete. And then, you know, I read a book by him that actually inspired me through high school to try to be my best and to do more. And then, you know, he turns out going to be Brissett, you know. So what we see to me, it seems like as the family has broken down by leftist push, then we don't care about our school. When you get this, everybody gets a trophy thing. Then if y'all don't get to play, then I hope we lose. And, you know, we see this degradation. And that's what I think has caused the end of the Olympics, because I used to be a big Olympics fan. And I don't remember the last one I watched. I watched a little bit the other night because I was at my mother-in-law's house. We were trying to get her some groceries, and the ladies speed skating was on, and Gina Lola Bridgetter's granddaughter set a world record, and that was pretty cool. But I just, you know, I don't follow it anymore. Used to, those 2 weeks, summer and winter, you know, you were glued to the TV. Mm-hmm. And then when you go out, when it wasn't on and you tried to do, we would set up things in our neighborhood to try to emulate those sports, because we wanted to see who was the fastest or who, you know.
Yeah.
And even though most of us were not athletes that were going to go to the Olympics, you know, we harbored those desires, and I think that was natural and that was good, and that fostered in us a desire for excellence.
Do you remember during the 1980 Olympics how good Eric Heiden was?
Yes.
He was the dominant speed skater. I mean, he won 5 gold medals. He was like the Michael Phelps of speed skating. And yet...
And you'd hear about them even after. Mary Lou Retton, you know, they could do cereal commercials because everybody knew their name. Right. Well, you know, that kid that said those negative things, I don't want, you know, when last Olympics, when that Isles girl just said, I don't feel like competing today, you know. My goodness. You would have been ashamed. There's no way, even if you felt like that, you would never have done it because you didn't want to let your school, your country, and your family down. And that fostered in us a desire to go further than we could normally go. And I think it made us better as a people and as a culture. So anyways, I miss it too. I haven't watched any of it, and I hate that, but I don't want to be preached at, you know. Now, they are doing some good things because there's such a time delay between Italy and here, where they were putting the downhill skiers, guys, they would put them on together. Have you seen that on the same downhill run?
Oh, really?
And they look like they're both running at the same time. Yeah, sometimes their bodies fuse. And that was interesting because it's such a delay, they have time to produce it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just not that desire. They don't talk about it at work. I had one friend at UPS that was a religious Olympics watcher, and so he's retired now too, so I guess there's none. But anyways, I think it tracks our downward spiral as a culture. We don't put ourselves out for it and just want to beat the other guy. I think it's healthy to want to go out and beat. You know, the toxic masculinity cult has beaten that out of us, and I think we're all the worse for it. Anyways, I didn't mean to take so long. Y'all have a great day.
I think there's lack of interest too, just because you have in your pockets the most powerful device ever created that gets you stuck on your own echo chamber or algorithm.
Yeah.
I try to stay connected. I work in news, and I get, like, if on X right now, all the things that are popping up, it's just AI news and information because I keep clicking on it. So I'm just stuck on that loop.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's just easy to get fractured into your own interests.
That's so
I don't
true.
think, I mean, if you go to local schools like Oak Hill last night, it's very important stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
People are
true.
still playing sports.
Yeah.
But I get it. I miss where everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
But you don't have one or two giant media corporations dictating everything we do anymore. So that could be a good thing, too.
Right. All right, we need to take this break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter. At the clinics, your health is our priority. Whether it's a routine checkup or ongoing care, we are here for you. Dr. Noah Miller, our newest family medicine physician, along with 5 other dedicated family physicians, are now accepting new patients. Schedule your appointment today. And remember, if you're ever admitted to the hospital, our doctors will see you there too. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The Clinics, 1587 North Bolton, 445-9823, online at theclinics.us.
Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, and Louisiana's Julia Letlow. What do they have in common? Liberal Julia Letlow voted with Joe Biden more than any other Louisiana Republican in the U.S. House. And just like Nancy Pelosi, Letlow has traded hundreds of stocks while serving in Congress. Worse, Letlow violated federal insider trading laws by failing to report her shady stock trades, potentially millions of dollars worth. But that's not all. Before she went to Congress, liberal Julia Letlow was a university bureaucrat. She instituted radical DEI policies, woke sensitivity training, and the university put up a public art display honoring defund the police activists. Is that what Louisiana wants in the U.S. Senate? Conservatives just can't trust liberal Julia Letlow. Louisiana Freedom Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. LouisianaFreedomFund.org.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service. Tired of that same plumbing issue? Call Southern Air Heating and Cooling. Plumbing problems, large or small, Southern Air will fix them all. And you'll get service with no delay from certified technicians the very same day. Take advantage of our $99 drain clearing special.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Investigators are still looking for 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie and the person who kidnapped her a week and a half ago after they detained a man named Carlos during a traffic stop south of Tucson last night.
I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
He was taken into custody hours after the FBI released images of a masked man, apparently with a gun, at Guthrie's door on the night she disappeared. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti from Tucson.
Cybersecurity experts tell CBS News even without an active subscription, Nest cameras still record when they detect motion. That video gets stored virtually in a cloud. On Tuesday, Savannah Guthrie posted the new images on social media saying someone out there recognizes this person, adding, "Bring her home."
The FAA says it shut down the airport in El Paso, Texas for 10 days for security reasons. CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
The FAA is not clarifying what those reasons are and is now calling the airspace a national defense airspace, warning that pilots who do not follow this notice to airmen, this no-fly zone, that they may be intercepted, detained, and interviewed by law enforcement, warning that they could face civil penalties, have their licenses revoked.
A surprise in the Labor Department's just released jobs numbers. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
The delayed January jobs report is out, and it was better than expected. 130,000 jobs were created during the month. The unemployment rate edged down just a bit to 4.3% from 4.4%.
We're hearing from terrified students at a high school in a remote community in the Canadian Rockies, where police say 8 people were killed, including the female shooter. CBS's MTS Tayab.
Around 175 students are enrolled at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, including 17-year-old Darian Quist.
I was in the mechanics classroom preparing to do some work on my car when the alarm went off that I've never heard before. And our principal goes throughout the halls and she's saying, people close your doors, lock down, stuff like that.
2 other victims were found at a house nearby. Dow futures up 238. We're not the only ones who get jealous. Scientists in Finland say monkeys do too. Here's CBS's Michael Wallace.
Their study published today in Proceedings of the Royal Society B says they observed jealous adolescent baboons often trying to steal their mother's attention while the mom was grooming a sibling. One young female lured her sister away from their mother with the promise of play, then took her spot in her mother's arms.
This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by...
When was the last time you watched your home movies?
Disasters strike unexpectedly. Every year, American families lose the one thing they'd run back into a burning building for, their family's memories. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Adam. We started Legacy Box to help save your family's most important recorded moments so you don't have to worry.
Load Legacy Box with your old movies, film reels, and shoeboxes of photos.
We work our digitizing magic, converting those memories right to the cloud so they're safe and accessible forever.
It's fast, we always send your originals back, and it's done right here in the USA.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box. Better Homes and Garden, Real Simple, and Inc. magazine are all talking about Legacy Box.
New York Times columnist David Pogue says, have them digitized. I wish I'd done it sooner. Take action. Save your family's memories today with Legacy Box.
Go to legacybox.com/value to get an incredible 50% off your Legacy Box. That's legacybox.com/value for 50% off while supplies last. legacybox.com/value.
Breaking news now, the FAA says it has lifted the temporary closure of airspace over El Paso, Texas. All flights have now resumed. Looks like the owners of a big city newspaper aren't willing to sell to save the paper from shutting down.
The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette is scheduled to go out of business in less than 3 months. That would make Pittsburgh the only major American city without a daily newspaper. Kevin Acklin is the head of business operations for the Pittsburgh Penguins and the leader of a group of private investors interested in buying the newspaper.
Those of us who want to step up and see this paper continue are being frustrated by the lack of an open and transparent process.
Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and their attorneys are scheduled to meet in New York today amid their ongoing legal battle tied to filming of their 2024 movie It Ends With Us. A judge ordered the settlement conference to try to avoid a trial. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm John Burns. State and local officials in the greater New Orleans metro area have formed a task force to catch child predators on the internet. Colleen Crane has the story.
There's a statewide Internet Crimes Against Children task force, but Attorney General Liz Murrill says the greater New Orleans area needed its own task force because more and more people are using the internet to harm kids.
We went from 30,000 tips last year to on track to have 90,000 this year. This is an enormous problem.
Chris Masters is on the Louisiana ICAC task force, and he says they're seeing more cases of sextortion and extortion.
Where they send a photograph to somebody that they don't know, that person then starts extorting them and saying, hey, now you need to pay me $300 a week.
I'm Colleen Crane.
A Caddo Parish grand jury has indicted Nicholas Alexander for first-degree murder in the death of Vivian police officer Mark Brock. 25-year-old Brock was fatally shot back in November while attempting to serve an arrest warrant. Alexander also faces cyber-stalking counts for allegedly threatening people electronically days before the shooting. LRN. Qualifying begins today for Louisiana's new closed party primary elections for U.S. Senate and House. Senate Treasurer John Fleming told the Louisiana Radio Network he will file his paperwork at 9 this morning. Law Politics publisher Jeremy Alford says Fleming is hoping to be a factor in the Republican Senate primary headlined by incumbent Bill Cassidy and challenger Julia Letlow.
Julia Letlow and Bill Cassidy lob a bunch of bombs at each other the way they've been doing the last 2 weeks, beat each other to a bloody mess, and he can present himself as the adult in the room.
For the fourth semester in a row, McNeese saw its enrollment increase. For the spring semester, its enrollment went up 5.3%, its biggest spring enrollment increase in 16 years. Interim President Kedrick Nicholas says enrollment has increased steadily since taking a major hit during the pandemic.
We went from 6,061 students in fall of 2023, which was a low for a very long time. And then we moved all the way up to 6,556 this past fall.
LRN.
For 1 year only, the event you've celebrated year after year is getting a new name and a new date. Because Fat Tuesday falls on Valentine's weekend, Taste of Mardi Gras becomes Taste of Central Louisiana. Happening Saturday, March 7th at the Randolph Riverfront Center. Enjoy the same great food, drinks, live music, and Mardi Gras spirit you've always loved, just on a new night and with a new name. For a full list of events, visit AlexandriaPinevilleLA.com and plan your trip today at ExploreLouisiana.com.
Good morning. Starting out our Wednesday with considerable clouds, but they'll decrease throughout the afternoon hours to, I would say, probably partly cloudy skies. Afternoon highs near 76 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 today. Few clouds from time to time overnight tonight, down around 50. And then for Thursday, a mixture of sunshine and clouds. Going to be warm. Afternoon high temps near 75. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
I mean, this is being able to represent the U.S. at this stage in the Olympics is one of the greatest honors that I've ever had. So I'm truly grateful to be here representing the red, white, and blues.
I think it kind of means the world. It's really like a whirlwind of emotions. Flying here this morning, hanging out in the village all day, and then getting fitted for our clothes, and just meeting athletes, and then coming here and practicing. And now it's all like, oh my gosh, like day one's over. Like it's kind of crazy. So. Really enjoying the experience so far and having a lot of fun.
All right, the Tkachuk brothers, they are members of the U.S. hockey team that is playing over in Milan, Italy, and very proud to represent the country. Then, on the other hand, you have the American snowboard team, and this is what they had to say about being on Team USA.
I feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States when, I'm pretty sure you're referencing ICE and some of the protests and things like that. I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights and making sure that we're treating our citizens as well as anybody with love and respect. And I hope that when people look at athletes compete in the Olympics, they realize that that's the America that we're trying to represent.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here.
Why does he sound like one of those female TikTok influencers? Hey guys, thank you for watching my video.
He might be from California.
He's from Oregon.
Okay, same thing.
yeah, pretty much.
That's how they talk.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one he was critical wasn't that bad. I mean, would I say it? Probably not. But I don't think he said, I hated America. He just hates Trump.
right.
But I get it.
Well, 2 things here. One, these young men probably don't have a whole lot of experience doing interviews. And you have American press over there trying to make use of the opportunity, asking them questions about that. The prudent answer would have been, you know what, that's politics. That's a whole different thing. We're here to represent our country and to compete.
Yeah.
That's all you had to say. But obviously they weren't coached to say it that way. That's what they should have said. And they are, I know, like Hess, I think, is the second guy that was speaking. Apparently, like, he has shut down his comments on his Instagram page because he was taking so much heat. But
and they're not used to that either. So,
right.
I mean, that's what makes our country great is you can say whatever you want and be critical of your government. Yeah. I probably wouldn't go about it unless it was completely egregious,
Well, in the first guy that you heard, he was talking about, treating our citizens with respect or whatever. Yeah, but we're not dealing with our citizens. ICE is dealing with people who aren't supposed to be here, and in so many cases are doing things that are not good for the country. So, which tells me the lens of information that probably they're getting is from more your kind of mainstream outlets, So, but anyway.
And they see, whether you agree with it or not, 2 Americans dead in the process, whether they instigated it or not. So, I mean, it's just a hotbed issue.
It is. But, I mean, anyway.
I mean,
it's America.
Imagine I'm not sticking up for it because this is not my thing. But look, imagine they're like, oh, we're against all the woke stuff and I celebrate the old America that I love. Would it be the same outrage? I don't know.
Sean Strickland weighing in on it. Do you know who he is? The MMA fighter?
Yes, I think so.
I can't read what he said. But
yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. It's just a bad look because you're trashing your country in another country.
Yeah.
The country that's giving you the opportunity to be there in that other country. You know, and rightly so. I've seen a lot of veterans hopping on there saying, you know what? We wore the flag when we spilled our blood on foreign soil for your freedoms.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Yeah. It just was not a smart thing to do. But I wonder what, I haven't seen the ratings for the Olympics so far. I think the Super Bowl ratings were a little low, right?
I think so.
Yeah. But it wasn't a good game. And it's
I think you'll see it go low probably as a trend. Why do you think, like, do you really, everyone's all worked about Bad Bunny. They're trying to expand their audience because it's a very difficult market these days. They're marketing to South Americans. They're marketing to a more international audience. Because, like I said, people are getting more fractured, and they need different audiences to keep it going.
Right.
So I think that's what it was all about. They were marketing to a certain group of people.
But do you market it at the expense of the people that are the most loyal to you? I mean, because I remember even going back to the Colin Kaepernick days, people I knew who were the most fierce, loyal football fans stopped watching after that. Not a lot, but I know several. One guy who was like the most diehard San Francisco fan I've ever known stopped immediately, sold off all his stuff, said, I'm done. I'm never watching this again. No, he was an Iraq War veteran, so
I'd say he's an anomaly compared to everyone else.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people initially turned away, but have kind of come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I mean, that's all it's about. They've been putting games in Brazil, Argentina, Mexico City.
Oh, yeah. Next year,
Sao Paulo.
The Saints are playing somewhere. And I got to go on that trip when the Saints played in London back in 2007. It was kind of a cool experience, you know.
And we need to let in the Latinos as fans. If you go to a Cowboys game, I am in the minority by far.
Big time.
And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
They get rowdy, man.
Yeah.
And they love it.
And they play in Mexico, usually one of their preseason games, don't they?
Cowboys?
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Oh, I remember them.
A couple of years ago, maybe.
Okay.
They don't really put Cowboys in international games very often.
Which is crazy, because that's like their biggest, probably internationally known team.
You know why? Is because it puts them in what's the word I'm looking for? In a bad time slot in America.
Oh, yeah.
And they usually put them in the best time slot. That's my estimation.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Because Cowboys barely even play noon games, which is a less viewed time slot.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually 3:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, but if they played in Mexico, they could still be in that time slot because it's not that much of a difference.
I think they have played in Mexico.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
And they played in England maybe once. Maybe.
Yeah, because
those
London games, London, Germany, Ireland, when they play there, those games are like at 8 in the morning on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So you got to remember to set your fantasy lineup in advance.
Yeah, they're just trying to stay relevant. You know, just because it's powerful now doesn't mean it will be in 5 years. You know, people are just interested in a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You know me, diehard NFL fan for like nearly 20 years.
And now you hardly ever watch.
Now I just can barely get to the TV to watch it.
Yeah.
So it happens.
Yep. All right, let's go to the phones this morning. BOM Bank Talk Line. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
You know, a few years ago, I was in California. You know, if you get a chance to go to California, why go anywhere else in the world when you go to California? It's the most beautiful place on earth.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, you're right.
And especially along the coast. Anyway,
yeah.
I was down there with several people, and we went down into Tijuana, which I don't recommend. And I don't recommend because, you know, they don't have any kind of civilization. They don't have any kind of civilization. The whole place is just criminals and just crazy stuff. It's like the Death Eaters in Harry Potter. No hope. I felt no hope. Because I always knew, go back to the United States and get out of here. There's no hope there.
It's funny you say that because even when I went to London in 2007, I remember we had like one day where we could just kind of travel around, and I kind of got to go off by myself, and I traveled around, and the sense that I had walking the streets there or traveling on those buses, whatever, is the lack of light. You can just sense like a darkness.
Well, isn't it gloomy? Like, it's infamously gloomy there.
No, but it was a sunny day, but it just, I'm talking about like spiritually, like you can sense a difference.
That's every city to me, man. I feel that.
And look, any promotion of Latino culture is just it's just craziness. You know, there's a big difference between I fought the law and the law won and what this Bad Bunny was singing about.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
I don't think Bad Bunny represents Latin culture.
I think he does.
No,
I think he absolutely does.
No.
And you know, and I remember when the 1980 when the hockey team won, when they went on to defeat Finland for the gold medal. It gave the country hope. Yep. You know, when Carter was president, it was like being dark. Everything was dark. There's no hope for tomorrow. Then Ronald Reagan came along and just turned everything totally around.
100%. I mean, the turnaround was maybe not instant, but it was stunning. I mean, you could sense, even the day he took office, if you remember, it was the day the Iranians freed our hostages. So it was, yeah.
No, we should do everything we could do to fight this Democrat culture that they're trying to put on us.
I agree. I do agree.
What is even that? I don't even know what that is.
I wish the Republicans did a better job myself, but yeah, well, go ahead and explain what you mean by democratic culture.
Well, they have a culture of death, and everything. Look at our cities, all the great cities we had. Look, they're all going away. They're all becoming like Tijuana. There's no hope. It's all darkness.
Mm. Yeah, I feel that way when I go to New Orleans. Like
Well, absolutely, New Orleans. There's no hope for New Orleans. You know, the thing is when Paul Volcker, I think that was his name, Paul Volcker raised the interest rates to 18%. We've been living off that ever since, because what would happen was people would borrow money, and then instead of paying it back, they would just borrow it for a lower interest rates were coming down. They would borrow it for a lower interest rates and just pay it without paying the debt back. And that's one of the big problems we have now. And the interest rates are near zero or close to zero, and people have all this debt they can't pay back.
Mm. Yeah.
And I don't care. Listen, I don't want to see nobody get killed. I absolutely don't. But we want to throw a Latino out of this country. That's fine with me. I don't care who they are. I don't want their culture.
I'd push back on that with you. I do think that there are some amazing Latino people that I know. Stephen's going to say he's married to one, so I appreciate it. I think the bigger issue is when you see cultures come to America that just don't want to assimilate into the larger American culture, and that's been talked about a lot. You know, when you come to America, I think there is an expectation that even though you bring your culture with you to some degree, yet you're embracing the American culture as well. It's not like, especially when you're coming from a country that supposedly is terrible, and then you come here and you want to hold everything from that. I mean, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Every one of those Latino countries in South America are horrible places to go. You know, they are. And I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if it offends them. It's the truth.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for your thoughts. We always appreciate it.
Yeah, he pissed me off. I have nothing to say to him.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you've told me this, that people you know that are from Venezuela, in some cases, they really didn't want to come here, not because of America, but just they had to flee from what Maduro had done and Chavez had done. And if it got back to being a great place to be, they might want to go back home, right?
Yeah, maybe. They love being here. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's racist. They don't all believe that. Saying Bad Bunny represents, it's like saying Lil Wayne represents our culture.
Yeah.
Like he's just a rapper,
right.
You know?
Right.
And saying that America's always been multicultural. Give me a freaking break. Tell me what American culture is. Depends on where you go in the country. Even when you were a kid, you little Gen Xers, it was different when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Where you go in the country.
Yeah.
Hopeless, lifeless cities, give me a freaking break. There are some good cities. There's also a lot of dilapidated rural areas that I drive through every single day. Like, you're just generalizing and making up things to fit your own narrative. It just doesn't make any sense to me. We could all do better. And America's always been very diverse. I just don't... Saying that Bad Bunny represents the culture of Latin... Most of them don't even care, you know? My wife's like, oh, yeah, well, he's just like a famous rapper when I was a kid. But we go to our family parties. They're not listening to Bad Bunny, you know? So you put up Juan Luis Guerra or whatever. That's just ridiculous. I don't really have much to say. I'm trying not to get mad. So. Okay. But, hey, everyone has an opinion.
All right, we'll come right back.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with The Clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The Clinic's on North Bolton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's restaurant. 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscone inviting you to join us for Wednesday's Hump Day AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Will Helmers joins us, talk a little LSU baseball, recap Tigers, Hogs in hoops. We're live from Marucci. Join us 3 to 6. Alexandria's 94.7 ESPN.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
All right. Well, we are back. So just kind of processing that a little more. I don't like what policies have done to a lot of our cities. So that was the only point I might agree with. When you look at, like, even a city like Milwaukee that I grew up in, and what you've seen a lot of the policies do to that city through the years. Ironically, Milwaukee was a city where most of the 1900s, they had socialist mayors. But it was a different thing. It was
nice socialism.
No, it wasn't like the wokeness of today, if I can use that term. I don't know how to describe it. I mean,
I think we've learned the tough on crime thing might be a little bit better than the other thing we've been doing the past 15 years. Yeah, we get it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Change some policy.
I mean, not that there weren't always tough neighborhoods, there always have been. But something changed after the 1960s where you had a lot of neighborhoods that had their own kind of communities within the city that were pretty good communities, but then all of a sudden just, you're not going to go there at night kind of thing.
I think that's just the nature when you have a bunch of people packed in like sardines, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they were having the same crime issues in Rome 2,000 years ago.
Well, and you had in a lot of cities, the quote, white people would move to the suburbs. And then a lot of that was filled by people from lower economic conditions. And you kind of got what you got. But I don't know. It's a huge topic. It's a very complex topic in a lot of ways, for sure. But I don't, I've had a number of friends through the years. When I used to go to Kansas, for example, in the summers, very strong Mexican community out there. A lot of great people that I got to know. So, I don't know. But yeah, there still is a retention of their culture, but my point was they still saw themselves as Americans. you know, and we're proud to be part of America. And I think that's all you can ask for or expect. I mean, I grew up in a Polish community until I was 7, but they were Americans, right? But you'd walk through the neighborhood and you'd still hear some of the grandparents speaking in Polish that had come to America, but they loved being here. And they were hardworking, industrious people trying to just make it better for their families, and as a result, they make the community better, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I said my piece about it. I think it was a ridiculous statement, but everyone's entitled to their opinions.
Yeah. So. All right, let's go back to the calls. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Good morning, Alan, Stephen, Roosevelt Johnson. How y'all doing this morning?
Good, man. How are you?
Oh, doing great. This upcoming legislative session, that's going to be a House bill in the state of Louisiana where teachers will be allowed to carry guns in schools. So I just wanted to call and see what you and Stephen thought about that, and I'll hang up. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you.
That is an interesting one. I think good people with guns is always a better thing. And I know that's a controversial statement.
Right.
But
yeah, I personally would not have a problem with it.
I mean, we got kids in there packed like sardines, and if someone's crazy enough to do what we see all the time just happened in Canada the other day, 10 people dead.
Right.
They're just sitting there. There's nothing they could do.
Right.
We either fortify it and find a way to pay police officers to guard our schools, our most precious asset, our children, or we got to find other solutions.
Yeah.
Oh, that topic actually burns me up.
Yeah.
Like, it's just ridiculous.
No, I mean, and we've talked about that on the show before. The whole notion of a gun-free zone is basically an open invitation to a mass shooter to say, here's your soft target, come and get it.
Yes.
Now, we're very thankful that in Rapides Parish we have the resource officers, which Sheriff Hilton, I think, had a lot of fortuitous wisdom about that back in the early 2000s when they passed the tax that funded that. And I think that's at least an initial deterrent, but
people are like, we don't want our kids to live go to school in a jail cell in their atmosphere. Well, welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know, I know that ticks some people off. But you don't think it's going to happen to you until it happens to you.
Right.
That's one thing we should spend money on, is to protect our kids. If we're going to put them in schools all day, make sure they're protected.
Right.
And if we had more people who were responsible gun owners, who learned how to use one, who were stand-up citizens, I think we'd be better off.
There you go.
Of course, there are legal issues, and what teacher would be available to do that, and who would want to go through that, and the responsibility of doing that, right?
Right.
But we got to find some solutions.
Yeah.
I saw, I forget if he's Senator Representative Danny McCormick over in the Shreveport area looking at allowing guns on college campuses. Interesting conversation. Have to read that bill too. But yeah, the school issue's a problem. Now you're seeing it in Canada. I don't think I've ever heard of that in Canada. Maybe very rarely.
I know
what I'm talking about?
They have very, very, very strong gun laws there, but
because bad people do not follow the law. Good people who are evenly matched, at least, would probably be a better option.
Yeah. Yep. What does it take to stop a bad guy with a gun? A good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
All right. More coming up.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Stock futures are pointing to a higher open this morning thanks to the latest jobs report. It shows U.S. hiring beat forecasts in January, with non-farm payrolls increasing by 130,000. The unemployment rate also fell to 4.3%, suggesting the labor market continued to stabilize at the start of the year. The FAA has lifted a temporary ground stop and reopened airspace around El Paso, Texas. If you're flying south today or have a layover in Texas, keep in mind, though, the region is still dealing with delays. And the Warner war continues. Activist investor Ann Cora is now urging the board of Warner Brothers Discovery to reject a takeover offer by Netflix. The firm, which has a $200 million stake in the studio, wants Warner to go with Paramount's competing bid instead, including an all-cash $30 a share offer for the entire business and a $2.8 billion termination fee Warner would have to pay Netflix if it ends its already agreed-upon deal. Paramount sweetened that deal just yesterday. Monica Ricks, Bloomberg Radio.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540.
Hi, this is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. We need your help to stop litter and keep Louisiana beautiful. When you see someone littering or illegally dumping, report them to the litter hotline at 855-LA-LITTER. You report, we enforce.
Again, the litter hotline is 855-LA-LITTER. When reporting, capture the license plate and make of vehicle.
Together, we can put the paradise back in Sportsman's Paradise.
Good morning. Starting out our Wednesday with considerable clouds, but they'll decrease throughout the afternoon hours to, I would say, probably partly cloudy skies. Afternoon highs near 76 degrees. Winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10 today. Few clouds from time to time overnight tonight, down around 50. And then for Thursday, a mixture of sunshine and clouds. Going to be warm. Afternoon high temps near 75. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
More conversation with our listeners. Let's go back to the BOM Bank Talk Line. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
What teachers carrying guns is a great example of Democrat culture.
That they have to carry guns, you mean? Okay. I don't have anything to argue. Yeah,
okay. He should have called in again anyway. That was the second time.
All right. Okay, well, let's go to the phones again. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Boy, you guys have had some exciting, stimulating conversation this morning.
That's what we're here, I think, at least for today. Maybe not tomorrow.
Well, my pet peeve about the Olympics is the United States, which has a huge population and covers a large expanse of world, so to speak, is competing against countries like Finland or France. Mm-hmm. And golly, we've got 10 times as many medals as these little rinky-dink countries. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with people competing and becoming the best they can be in their sport. But for a country like the United States to puff up its chest and say, look how great we are, well, look how many more people we have compared to a tiny country.
True, yeah.
I mean, maybe they ought to figure out some way to apportion the number of trophies by the number of citizens.
Mm. Well, I mean, you kind of have that in America where, take like Louisiana, we've got 17 different school divisions in LHSAA between the select and the non-select, all the way from 5A to 4A to 3A to 1A to B to C. I mean, it's everybody gets a trophy kind of thing.
I think B and C is kind of ridiculous. Just make it one.
Well, I mean, half the time, look at the basketball tournament. You'll have teams get 2 byes because there aren't enough teams to even fill the field out.
When I was in school, we were teetering between B and C school, every other year.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is the difference between graduating with 50 and graduating with 25?
Right.
We have to be in separate districts.
Right. I mean...
Well, I still remember when I think there was either 8-man or 6-man football in Louisiana.
No, they have that up in Idaho, where my dad's from. They have 8-man football.
Well, the State Homeschool Association, their football is 8-man football.
Well, I was kind of disturbed by the guy that was a little bit upset about all these other countries being, I don't know quite exactly how to phrase it, but I don't think he was being very kind to other countries.
Yeah. And, I mean, I'm still kind of thinking through it all, how I really want to say it. And that's sometimes the challenge of the show. You're trying to react in the moment versus thinking through something a little more.
Yeah, well, I mean, in terms of Central America, Costa Rica is generally considered to be the Switzerland of Central America.
A lot of Americans are moving there, as a matter of fact. But, you know, my daughter and her husband and family, they're missionaries in Ecuador, and it's you see the ravages of socialism in a country like that. It's really sad what people have, but yet you still find some really amazing people that are there. It's just kind of the conditions that they're raised in. I mean, it never escapes me, and I hope it never will, what a blessing it is to have been born an American and grow up and live in America compared to so many places around the world. And that's not being a proud, arrogant American. It's just being a thankful American. And I think that's kind of the point maybe I would say better than what point he was trying to make is people, you just find people that aren't thankful to be here, thankful for what they have. And, you know, policies that do create kind of this cycle of dependency and this cycle of crime. And it's discouraging sometimes. I mean, you hate to see it. I mean, even a city like Alexandria, we're dealing with this of generations of what we see. And how do you change that? You know, I don't know. But
well, I can tell you a lot of them coming in do not give a DA you-know-what about changing American culture. Like, give me a freaking break.
Yeah.
Well, the bottom line is that my ancestors came during the potato famine and then during the turn of the 1900s when huge numbers of people from Europe came basically to escape poverty, I guess, as opposed to escape the potato famine.
But they came here with a desire to work and make a better life for themselves, not a desire to come here and get immediate, you know, huge benefits from the government and have no desire to ever really positively contribute to society.
Yeah, but the point I wanted to make is that they came through a legal system.
Correct.
And we've had both the Democrats and the Republicans in charge of all three branches of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and none of them basically resolved the problem.
Right.
And when I was first starting work, more or less in the crawfish industry, the people that were lifting the traps were lower income American citizens. Now they all speak Spanish, or many of them do. Well, and then getting them in legally is, as I've mentioned in prior shows, a real difficulty. Well, those people that do come that are illegal with green cards or whatever have to be basically treated like American citizens in terms of health care, salaries, this, that, and the other. And these ones that basically, in quotes, snuck across or blew across with Biden's waves, apparently they don't have to, whoever's employing them doesn't have to do that.
Right.
But they don't have to do that because nobody enforces the law, regardless of whether or not they contribute to the Republicans or the Democrats.
Right. Yeah, that's what we've said on the show before is that, you know, this is just such a larger issue of the failure to properly deal with the whole immigration issue by our leaders.
But here's a question I was going to ask you. It's got nothing to do with this. Was Julie Emerson, when she was a representative or a senator, involved in the medical marijuana legalization? And is her husband in the medical marijuana business? There was some person who resigned either from the House or the Senate or the state, and it was said that their husband benefited from the medical marijuana and that she had pushed the legislation. And I didn't know if it was Miss Emerson or not.
I don't know. I really don't know the answer to that. I just typed in Julie Emerson medical marijuana. I don't see anything coming up.
Yeah, well, anyway, it's kind of interesting. Moon still struggles to support his buddy Jeff.
Jeff Landry, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair to say. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
Okay, catch you later.
Bye. We'll be right back.
KSYL.
Need office supplies, janitorial supplies, or office furniture, either new or pre-owned? Then look no further than DTW Office Supply, with wholesale prices on a large selection of top quality products, all with the personalized hometown service that you deserve. We're proud to serve the entire state of Louisiana with daily deliveries right to your door. Visit us today at 1219 MacArthur Drive or online at dtwofficesupply.com. That's DTW Office Supply, your trusted partner for all of your office needs. Quality, value, service.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I am grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, somebody texted me saying that Julie Emerson is single and is more likely to cheer for Alabama than support marijuana. Okay. I don't know how they know that, but thank you for the information.
I think it's kind of rich, too, going back to the other conversation. One of the best things about Louisiana is the influx of different cultures.
Yeah.
I mean, how KLB had a French newscast like 50 years ago.
Yeah, and KLFY still does, right?
Yeah, let's not do Laissez le bon temps rouler anymore. We'll just say, let the good times roll. We can't use that anymore.
Yeah.
That's one of the best things about Louisiana.
No, that's the point I was making. I love that it's great that we have America is made up of a lot of different cultures who have assimilated into the larger culture. Like, there's nothing wrong. But I didn't go around demanding when I was in school to be called a Polish American. You know what I mean?
I don't think Latinos are doing that. Like the ones that I know, this is not what they're asking for.
Well, I think the politicians try to push a lot of that stuff.
But that's not a.
Well, remember like the whole Latinx thing that was starting up?
And they don't like it.
They don't. No. Like the very people that,
They're very traditional.
Well, there was a thing, where did I see that? There was a debate between, maybe it was one of the congressional hearings. They were talking something about black people, and the liberal person was chiding the conservative person about, you don't know what black people think. And then he goes, well, how do you presume to know how black people think? It was just like kind of a pointless debate, but.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I see people that want to work hard, and I think we're treating the wrong thing. We shouldn't go after people who are trying to live peacefully. They were let across the border. You're not treating the actual problem. It's people not making legislation to fix it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, the government created this problem.
Come across. You're across.
Yeah.
Well, you're a criminal now. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, now, there are problems, too.
Yeah.
People that do need to go.
The Trump administration is trying to clean up the mess that the Biden administration created.
It's just very nuanced.
Yeah. But the problem predates both of them. going back to the days when Bush was president and all the Democrats were screaming, oh, we've got to fix this illegal immigration issue. Nobody should be here illegally. But now, they can count for our census and we can get more representative seats. Come on over.
And just things change so quickly. Obama, if you listen to Obama talk.
Let's flood red counties with them so that we can turn them blue.
If you hear Obama talk about it, 10 years or 12 years ago, you sound like a current Republican.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Whenever it fits their agenda, they'll do it.
We're just not fixing the actual problem.
But
we haven't.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw any of the hearing yesterday with the head of ICE. It was one of the Democrats. She was like, "Are you a person of faith?" And she was basically saying, "Well, you're going to go to hell for the way you're doing." It's like, what are we doing here? Like, how could you even make a statement like that?
You ever watched the movie Idiocracy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
kind of a metaphor for what we're
saying. It was a glimpse into the future.
Yeah. All right, let's take another call. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, I called last week. I was talking about how younger people, I guess Generation Z or whatever, millennials, talking about the economy isn't working for them and how expensive everything is. And then I go right around, there's nail salons everywhere, and there's vape shops everywhere, and there's tattoo shops all over the place, and people are all over. These young people are all covered with tattoos. Well, anyway, there was something else wasn't on my radar. This relative of ours, they came over. She started telling me she'd gone to this spa with some of her, she's not a teacher, but some of her teacher friends. And they do this, this thing was so wonderful called ionic detox foot baths. I said, what? She said, yeah, you sit there with your feet in this warm water and for 30 minutes and it removes all the toxins out of your body. The water turns all brown, and, I felt so wonderful after it was over. I said, well, how much did that cost? She said, $40. I said, please tell me you don't think that's real. What? You think it's a scam? I said, I know it's a scam. You're not going to pull toxins out of your feet, a foot bath. So I looked it up real quick. What it is, it's a saline solution, and they have this iron anode. They run a weak current through there. It has caused an accelerated rusting process. And you can run that bath and with no feet in it, and the water's going to turn brown. And she got mad. Her husband got mad. My wife got mad. I thought it was a scam. $40. That a scam. So I started doing some research. Well, we got a couple of those places in Alexandria. Then you go to Baton Rouge and Lafayette. They not only have ionic detox foot baths, they have these colonic hydrotherapy places. They got like 10 of them in Baton Rouge and in that area. And Lafayette's got several. They're not cheap. They're like $125 for one enema, unless you buy a package of like 10, and then they're like $100 each. But isn't that crazy? People are going spending. Now the foot bath, that's harmless, but I mean, you spend $40 on just a scam. It's not going to hurt you. But the colon hydrotherapy thing, it can actually, it can hurt you, actually. It can make you dehydrated. It can cause electrolyte imbalances and things like that. But it just blows my mind. People are blowing their money away on stuff like that. And then talking about the economy. This economy is just not working for them, That colon thing, they promote this idea that fecal matter adheres to your colon wall but getting these enemas to remove all that sludge.
I feel like the show today is an enema.
That's what happens when we don't have a producer and can.
And that is just totally nuts. It just frustrates me. They're talking about, this economy's not working for me, and things are too expensive, and Trump's that he was going to change it, but they're throwing away money like that on stuff like that.
Yeah.
Into those places in the Baton Rouge area.
No. All right. Well, thanks for letting us know. We need to take a break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
Honey, that flu keeping you up? Did you take NyQuil Intense Flu?
Nah, I got this. Okay, I don't got this.
Yeah, you need NyQuil Intense Flu.
Undo your flu with NyQuil Intense Flu. NyQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms so you can sleep.
You do got this.
NyQuil Intense Flu. The nighttime sniffling, aching fever. Best sleep with the flu medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're thinking of visiting Europe this summer, you should know the U.S. dollar hasn't been as low against the euro as it is right now in many years. And while that might please American importers whose goods cost less to foreign buyers, it's not good news for travelers. The last time the dollar was this low, a dollar only buys about 83 cents in euros, was in 2021. I thought it might be interesting to see how much it would cost to spend a weekend at Europe's most expensive cities. From America's #1 travel radio show, this is your Arm World Travel Minute. I'm Rudy Maxa. Looking at the list of the 10 most expensive cities, Nice, France is the cheapest in the number 10 position. Figure on spending about $743 for a weekend there. The top 4 most expensive cities in ascending order are Venice, Edinburgh, Copenhagen, and Oslo, where $875 will get you a nice weekend. The solution? Consider Eastern Europe, like Georgia, where a weekend in Tbilisi runs about $300. Estimate $500 for a weekend in the capital of the Czech Republic, Prague. Save more by staying in smaller towns and by booking your trip way ahead, like now. More travel info at armworldtravel.com.
Now back to Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
Well, let me ask you some questions that you may be able to answer. Mr. Lyons, do you consider yourself a religious man?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes. Okay, well, how do you think Judgment Day will work for you with so much blood on your hands?
I'm not going to entertain that question.
Oh, okay, of course not. Do you think you're going to hell, Mr. Lyons?
I'm not going to entertain.
Of course not. How many government...
The gentlelady will suspend. The gentlelady will suspend.
Chairman?
A gentlelady will suspend. As I said, the issues we're debating here are important to ones that members feel deeply about.
Thank you.
While vigorous disagreement is part of the legislative process, members are reminded that we must adhere to established standards of decorum in debate. The witnesses are here voluntarily, and I will continue to remind members that while oversight is important, aggressively attacking those witnesses personally is inappropriate and not in keeping with the traditions of our committee.
Mr. Chairman, I'm just asking a question. You guys are always talking about religion here in the Bible. I mean, it's okay for me to ask a question, right?
Oh, my gosh. That was Representative LaMonica McIver. She's from New Jersey. And the person she was questioning was the director of ICE, Todd Lyons. Like, what is wrong with these people? Seriously.
That was pretty pathetic.
That's awful. That is classic ad hominem attack.
Yeah. Going to hell? I don't know.
Yeah, you're doing your job.
Yeah, it's just kind of silly.
Yeah. I mean...
But those hearings are mostly kind of silly.
Yeah, nothing ever comes out of them other than viral Twitter moments or Instagram moments or TikTok moments. But that just crossed a line, in my opinion. Humble opinion.
Yeah, it was very silly.
You know how Seinfeld used to be billed as a show about nothing? I feel like our show today is a show about something, but I'm not exactly sure what.
I don't know what it is. We've had the gambit here today.
It's kind of been all over the place.
That's what makes it great. You know, like most radio shows, we have a producer, they screen the call, make sure you're saying something pertinent and relevant and not ridiculous.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just go down that rabbit hole wherever it leads us.
Yeah.
You know, we've had colon cleansings to we hate Latin culture to what else? The U.S. hockey team from the 80s.
See, I was trying to do an uplifting, encouraging show today.
We go everywhere and every which way. Guns. It's a very unique show. I'm surprised they let it on the air.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun. And that's what makes it difficult for me and Al, because sometimes we'll just get thrown a topic we haven't even remotely thought about.
Right.
And then we have to defend something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Colon cleansing, though, might help some of y'all. Might be good. Maybe we should go, Al. You want to go together?
Sometimes I feel like when I do this show, I'm getting a colon cleanse.
I have seen those on social media and stuff. You know, they have like the highlighting, like, oh, get your colon cleaned out. You'll get all that bad bacteria out of your gut. I don't know. It's not really my cup of tea.
Well, who was it? Mae West that used to swear by coffee enemas to credit for her longevity of health.
Interesting.
Yeah, there are a lot of natural health people out there that recommend that.
You know, because humans were born and created or evolutionized, whatever you want to believe, and they were starting out with coffee enemas, and that's the natural biological way. I don't know.
I think those things have become more vogue because of the way our diets are and our lack of activity. So we're trying to figure out how to fix things through other means.
Yeah.
You know? Eat good food and move around. It's kind of a basic, right?
There you go.
That's two of which I rarely do.
And stop wasting money on colon cleansers and tattoos.
Well, I don't have a tattoo.
That's good.
Unlike some people.
It means you're not going to hell, Al.
Apparently if I worked for ICE, I would be.
That's true.
Yeah. Jeez. What?
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.